but we have incorporated additional uh, means for attracting members. One thing we identified early on is the importance of having some very clear rules of the road, guidelines, if you may. We talked about this when the Creators Network was starting or whatnot, because you think with diabetes, for example, there wouldn't be controversy, there wouldn't be discussion. I mean, like, who can argue about it? I mean, like, kill all the. I mean, like, but every single topic has that sensitive part about it. So in diabetes, it could be anywhere where politics or religion gets in the way, or ethics, for that matter. So stem cell research, people have very strong opinions, pro or against them. So if someone starts a discussion about it, or healthcare reform, Republican, Democrat, you come at it from very different places, it can get ugly very fast. And it does. So you need to know that that's going to happen. And you need to be prepared for that and what you're going to do in that case. So establishing some clear guidelines, clear rules as to what will happen. Don't make them up at the moment of, although some things you cannot be fully prepared for, but some things you can anticipate. So what's acceptable behavior? I always use the example of if you have, I don't know under the current terms of use whether it would fly or not, but let's say for argument's sake that you had a nudist social network. So, I mean, in the nudist community, it would be completely acceptable. In fact, it would be expected for you to, be naked. And it's fine. But that would clearly not be acceptable in diabetes. So that's a good reference. So what's acceptable? What's fair play? If you don't abide by this, what will happen? And then exemplify what constitutes, the expected behavior. What we want you to do. So we created this thing called the values of diabetes. And we keep we have the terms of use and the privacy, and we had to get the help of an attorney for that. I mean, like, you have to have those there was a possibility to have those complementing the named ones. I think that was great because you have some specific needs, so elements that pertain to medical use, and you cannot take this as medical advice. This is in no way meant to substitute what your doctor says, and so on. But that's like nobody ever reads that, so it has to be like really, boom, 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 bulletized and with examples if at all possible, and exemplify it through what you do, what you say in your network, when you intervene, when you participate, and when you have to step in. That balance between staying, holding, and jumping in, I'd say is probably one of the biggest challenges, because especially in fact, and it's likely to be the case if you're passionate about the topic, you're likely going to have an opinion about it. So let's say that if it is stem cell research or healthcare reform or your choice of an insulin pump, for that matter. There's people who are very adamant about a particular pump, and I don't get like that they get really passionate. This is the right one and that's the wrong one. It's like, okay. So you have to exemplify, walk the talk. If you're saying that this is what's expected, you have to do it as well. And maybe that doesn't mean that you don't. Emily was asking me yesterday. It's like, okay, so now I'm no longer just a member of the network. I'm also a staff of the HF. Let's say. I mean, like, as long as you don't, you're not planning on, just do, send someone to, yeah, exactly, something like that. You're more than entitled to your personal opinion, but stated as such. And other than that, abide by the guidelines because you're exemplifying what you're expecting others to do. That is very important, I think, because it sets the tone for what people can expect. If they leave and they return, if they haven't been in the community for a while, or if they see a situation of crisis of any kind, they have an idea of what to expect as an outcome and expect as an environment, and describe it as a safe place for people to talk about, fill in the name, or a place they would never want to go back to if you are not doing a good job at enforcing those rules that you're saying that you're enforcing. So that, I think that has to do, we see, in the case of TuDiabetes, we see about a 40% rate of returning members, depending on how long that, you measure that it roughly is that way. So people, there's a lot of churn. There's a ton of communities out there that are doing similar things, but we feel it's important that that what we say we're doing, we can keep on doing it well and keep at it. Again, if there's a particular situation that requires us to intervene, to do so. If we just need to let the community resolve things itself, because they need to talk this out. As long as they don't kill each other, we need to step back. So I think that balance is tough, but it's an important one to develop.